My ayahuasca journey. I have consumed 8 cups of ayahuasca over multiple ceremonies. Ayahuasca is illegal in the USA. However, it is legal if used as part of a religious ceremony. The most notable case is Gonzalez versus O Centro Espírita Beneficente União do Vegetal, UDV, from 2006. In this case, the Supreme Court ruled that the U.S. government must allow the Brazil-based UDV Church to import and consume ayahuasca for religious ceremonies under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. I joined a church in Florida as a part of my ayahuasca journey. My first weekend of ceremonies took place around 2017. A shaman and his group of assistants were from Colombia. The elderly shaman has mastered the process of brewing ayahuasca medicine for many decades, a recipe that was passed down for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I read up on ayahuasca and how to prepare and what to expect before arriving. Even though ayahuasca has a psychedelic effect, no one that has experienced a traditional ayahuasca ceremony would use it just for a cool high. It can be a brutal process meant to strip you down both physically and mentally. Before you attend the ceremony, you are given a list of suggestions on how to prepare yourself. Because the medicine is designed to cleanse your mind and body, it is recommended to remove all meat, alcohol, and drugs from your diet at least 1 week before the ceremony. The cleaner you are showing up, the less drastic the physical cleansing is for most people. We started the ceremony around midnight in the forest. You first meet the shaman and a medical attendant. In this case, the helper was a nurse. They want to make sure you are not taking any pharmaceutical drugs that might interact with the medicine. This is especially important because the people that can be helped the most with ayahuasca are typically taking some sort of pharmaceutical drug. Antidepressants cause the most significant issues when combined with ayahuasca. There were 20 people at the ceremony. At the beginning of the ceremony, we would form a line to receive the cup of medicine from the shaman. When you arrived at the front of the line, the shaman would scan your body and read your energy. At that point, he would instruct the assistant as to how much medicine to pour you. The normal amount was between 2 and 4 ounces. After consuming the burnt orange-colored medicine, which tasted like really nasty dirt, you were to return back to your mattress on the ground and get comfortable. The medicine takes about 45 minutes to an hour to kick in. During this time, the Colombian musicians would play beautiful melodic songs with handmade instruments. The music style and tempo were purposely created by the musicians to maximize the effect the medicine would have on us. After about an hour, when the first person started throwing up, they changed the music to something more driving and energetic. This was meant to help activate the medicine. In addition, the shaman started chanting. He was summoning Mother Earth to come and help each one of us on our journey of healing. The shaman stomped on the ground as he chanted louder and louder. He went on for an hour, non-stop. The purging, which comes in the form of throwing up and diarrhea, can last around an hour or so. I think the first time I drank a cup of ayahuasca, I threw up around 20 times and went to the bathroom a couple times. This purging is not without meaning. Some of its intended effects are as follows: spiritual cleansing, dark energy. In the traditional Amazonian context, the purge is often viewed as a release of built-up negative energies, emotions, or spiritual obstructions. In this view, it's indeed an expulsion of dark energy, or what some practitioners may refer to as spiritual toxins. Transcendental experience. The purge is sometimes described as a rite of passage that helps participants confront their fears or emotional burdens, facilitating a kind of spiritual rebirth. Psychological cleansing, emotional catharsis. For some, the act of purging provides a deep sense of emotional relief. Psychological burdens like trauma, stress, or repressed emotions may be perceived as being expelled during this process. Mindfulness and introspection. Some users find that the intense self-awareness that accompanies an ayahuasca journey turns the act of purging into a mindful, introspective practice that aligns well with what this book is all about. After, and sometimes during the purging, the visions begin. When you come to a ceremony, it is advised you have intentions about what you want to get out of the ceremony. The visions are meant to provide clues in answering your intentions. Unfortunately, there is no one to interpret your visions, so you must try and figure out what they mean to you. The visions are not always pretty. The more meditation or mindfulness you have practiced, the more it helps distinguish between a vision and reality while experiencing the medicine. For one attendee, this didn't go so well. After about an hour into the medicine and people purging, a young girl started screaming that snakes were eating her face. An hour later, when the first ceremony was over, she packed her bags and left around 3 in the morning. After the purging is over, your body goes into a very relaxed state where the visions continue. For me, it also felt like I could feel every cell in my body come alive. This was similar to, but not as intense as, my silent retreat vibration. This was deeper. The experience at the silent retreat was more of a full body vibration, whereas with ayahuasca, it felt as if the medicine was moving through my body, entering each cell, cleansing it, then moving to the next cell. After about an hour in this beautiful state, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, it was time for round 2 of the medicine. Anyone who wished to journey again, which most did, was invited to take a second cup that night. The second cup followed the same format and results as the first. Quiet, purging, visions, cell vibration, peace. After the second cup was finalizing its work, it was time to close everyone up. As the medicine purges your dark energy, it must open your energy field to release the dark energy. Therefore, the shaman and his helpers had to shut that door to your soul so that other dark energy waiting for an opportunity would not enter you. This was more chanting, rattling of seed gourds, necklaces made of teeth from Amazon predators. Then they put cleansing liquid in their mouth and sprayed it on your face. These are the ancient practices that have produced profound healing for centuries. It was 7 a.m. I hadn't slept in 24 hours but wasn't tired. I tried to sleep but couldn't. My body was cleansed and alive. The fascinating aspect of the ayahuasca medicine is that in the morning I had total recall of every moment of the night. Every vision I had, I could recall vividly. Morning was also a time for the attendees to gather and discuss the experience of the night, especially the young woman who was screaming and left. This is when we could learn why people came to the ceremony. Most had tried many ways to heal their pain with little or no success. Like the people who attended the week-long silent retreat, they couldn't get past major traumas such as abuse, death of a loved one, addiction, PTSD, and deep depression. They were desperate to find peace in their soul. A majority that attended the ceremonies stated that they felt some level of release and relief from issues they faced. My ayahuasca visions. Consciousness cartography. As I mentioned, you were left on your own to interpret your visions. Now I will provide the most remarkable visions I had and my related thoughts about them. Vision 1. Vision of laser lights, some possible messages, illumination, and clarity. Laser lights are precise and focused, often cutting through darkness. This vision might represent a sudden illumination or clarity about a particular aspect of my life. It could signify a moment of understanding or revelation, where things that were once obscure are now seen clearly. Guidance and direction. Just as laser lights often point in specific directions, this vision could be interpreted as a sign of guidance. It may suggest that I am seeking or will receive direction in my life, possibly relating to a decision or path I am contemplating. Energy and intensity. Laser lights are intense and energetic. This imagery might reflect my inner energy, passion, or a need to focus my efforts more intensely on something important to me. It could also be a call to harness and direct my energy more purposefully. Technological or modern life influences. Since I have a strong connection or interaction with technology in my daily life, this vision might be reflecting how these modern elements are influencing my subconscious mind or my spiritual journey. Transformation and transition. Light shows are dynamic, constantly changing and evolving. This aspect of the vision could symbolize my personal transformation, growth, or transition. It may suggest movement and evolution in my spiritual and emotional journey. Sensation and perception. Ayahuasca experiences can heighten sensory perceptions. A laser light show could represent this heightened state, symbolizing a new way of perceiving or experiencing the world. Vision 2, Day of the Dead Vision. Some possible messages. I believe this vision was related to my sister that passed. Remembrance and honor. The Day of the Dead is all about honoring and remembering those who have passed away. This skull in my vision could symbolize my ongoing connection to my sister, serving as a reminder of her and the impact she had on my life. Processing grief. There could be unresolved feelings or grief related to my sister's passing. The vision could represent a subconscious effort to process these emotions. It might be an invitation to confront and work through any lingering sadness or to find closure. Spiritual connection. In many spiritual and cultural traditions, skulls are seen as a bridge between the living and the deceased. This vision could be interpreted as a sign of spiritual connection with my sister, suggesting that her presence and influence continue in my life in some form. Message or guidance. This vision could be a message from my sister. I look for current life situations that make me feel connected to my sister. Maybe she is guiding me or cautioned me about the direction I'm taking my life. Celebration of her life. Just as the Day of the Dead is a celebration of the lives of those who have passed, this vision might be encouraging me to celebrate the life my sister lived, to focus on the joy and love she brought rather than only on the loss. Personal reflection. This vision could also be prompting me to reflect on how her passing has shaped me, my beliefs, and my approach to life and death. Vision 3. I was part of prayer group as an old soul. Some possible messages, community, and connection. The circle of old souls may symbolize the importance of community and connection in my spiritual journey. Circles often represent unity, wholeness, and eternity, suggesting maybe a deep and timeless connection with others. Wisdom and guidance. Being an old soul might indicate wisdom and experience. This could mean I am surrounded by guidance and knowledge, both within myself and from those around me. Collective consciousness. The vision might reflect a sense of being part of a larger collective consciousness. A prayer group might indicate a shared intention or purpose, suggesting I am part of a greater spiritual undertaking or journey. Inner circle of support. The image could be a reflection of my inner support system, people or energies, past, present, or future, that provide me with strength and guidance. Spiritual duty or calling. Being in a prayer group could symbolize a sense of spiritual duty or calling. It might be an indication of my role or contribution to the world or a certain community. Healing and support. Such a vision might also represent healing, either my own or my role in the healing of others. A prayer group often symbolizes collective healing and support, reflection of inner self. Sometimes, visions in ayahuasca ceremonies are reflections of our inner self. Each old soul in the circle could represent different aspects of my own personality or life journey. Vision 4, vision of my daughter practicing ballet. Some possible messages. This vision was like watching a movie of my daughter practicing a beautiful dance. There was no question that the image was my daughter. Harmony and balance. Yoga and ballet both symbolize balance, grace, and harmony. Seeing my daughter engaged in these activities might represent a desire or recognition of balance and harmony in my life or my relationship with her. It could also symbolize the blending of strength and flexibility, suggesting a need for these qualities in my life. Growth and development. My daughter was around 9 at this time. This vision could be a reflection of my feelings about her growth and development. It might symbolize my hopes for her to embody the discipline, beauty, and mindfulness that yoga ballet represents, inner child and innocence. The vision could also be a representation of my own inner child or aspects of innocence and purity. It may be an invitation to reconnect with a simpler, more joyful, and less encumbered perspective on life. Spiritual connection. Yoga is deeply spiritual, and ballet is often seen as a form of artistic expression. This combination in my vision might signify a deep spiritual connection or a need to express myself more fully, either in my life or in my relationship with my daughter. Guidance and learning. Seeing someone perform ballet can also be about guidance, learning, and teaching. This may reflect my role as a parent, guiding and teaching my daughter, or it could symbolize my own journey of learning and seeking guidance, perhaps in areas that require discipline and focus. Beauty and art in life. The aesthetic grace of ballet, combined with the mindfulness of yoga, could be a message about finding beauty in the everyday aspects of life, encouraging a more mindful appreciation of the world around me. Those first two ceremonies were on a Friday night. We repeated everything again the next night. Over that weekend and 4 ceremonies, I had around 20 distinct visions. At the time of attending the ayahuasca ceremony, I didn't like who I was, and the process of remaking me was not going far enough or fast enough. I told the medicine, Mother Earth, to do whatever it took to change me. I was ready. Boy, if I had known how that request would manifest in my life, I might have chosen my words more carefully. After that weekend with ayahuasca, I had many dark nights of the soul that were initiated by other people in my life. I had never experienced such a mentally difficult time as this. But in the end, Mother Earth fulfilled my wish and changed me profoundly through very difficult events that showed up in my life. A few years later, I did another weekend of ceremonies with this same group. Other than more laser light shows, the visions were completely different. For now, there is no further draw to the medicine for me to attend another ceremony. The shaman and the helpers mentioned that they felt my energy was very clean. That was good enough for me. While controversial and potentially illegal in some jurisdictions, individuals continue to explore the controlled and mindful use of microdosing psychedelics, or working with plant medicines like ayahuasca or psilocybin mushrooms. These substances can be used in ceremonial or therapeutic contexts to facilitate deep introspection, expanded consciousness, spiritual insights, and profound emotional healing. Plant medicines such as ayahuasca. During the intense meditative period of my life, I encountered frequent references to ayahuasca. As a seeker, I usually consider these prompts a sign for me to dig deeper. Regarding ayahuasca, the saying goes that one ceremony of ayahuasca can be the equivalent of 10 years of psychotherapy. It is designed to dissolve the layers of reoccurring negative emotions and thoughts, allowing you direct access to yourself. Ayahuasca is primarily made from the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and the Psychotria viridis leaf, both of which are native to the Amazon rainforest. Individually, they have no effect. However, cooking them together creates a potent concoction rich in DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and MAOIs, monoamine oxidase inhibitors. DMT is similar to the psychedelic component in LSD. Here is how ayahuasca can affect our mind and body. Scientific glimpses, biophilia, hypothesis. This suggests humans have an innate affinity to nature and living systems. Ayahuasca seems to amplify this connection, making the relationship between humans and their environment more explicit. Neurological effects. DMT activation. The DMT is a potent psychedelic compound that interacts with serotonin receptors in the brain, profoundly altering perceptions, emotions, and cognition. MAOI role, the MAOIs in the Kayapi vine, make it possible for the DMT to cross the blood-brain barrier. Otherwise, it would get broken down by enzymes in the gut. Psychological and spiritual effects, altered consciousness. People report visions, intense emotional experiences, and sometimes confrontations with past traumas or fears. Ego dissolution. Many users describe a temporary dissolution of ego, leading to insights about interconnectedness or even spiritual revelations. Therapeutic potential. Some preliminary studies suggest ayahuasca may have potential therapeutic benefits for conditions like depression, PTSD, and addiction. There have been many testimonials of individuals receiving significant relief from these conditions. Physical effects, gastrointestinal. It's known to induce vomiting and diarrhea, colloquially known as purging, which is typically interpreted as a form of spiritual or emotional cleansing. Safety concerns. Ayahuasca can interact adversely with medications like SSRIs and substances like alcohol or stimulants. Always consult a healthcare provider if you're taking any pharmacological drugs and considering ayahuasca. Ayahuasca and the concept of Mother Earth, or Pachamama in indigenous traditions, is a deeply spiritual and cultural facet of the ayahuasca experience. It taps into the interconnectedness of all things, the cultural perspective, sacred nature. In indigenous Amazonian cosmology, ayahuasca is often considered a sentient being or spirit, usually portrayed as a wise grandmother or a snake spirit, guiding humans toward wisdom and healing. Environment as extension. Many indigenous cultures don't see a divide between themselves and the environment. Ayahuasca is viewed as a conduit or bridge to the wisdom and healing potential that Mother Earth offers. The experience, interconnectedness. Users often report feelings of being connected to all life forms, experiencing a profound sense of unity with nature. Earthly imagery. Visions during ayahuasca ceremonies often include natural elements like animals, plants, or Earth itself, sometimes offering lessons or messages attributed to Mother Earth. Caretaker role. Post-experience. Many report a renewed sense of responsibility to the environment, which they attribute to the insights gained from this meeting with Mother Earth via ayahuasca. Check back in a couple of months as my book, The Success Protocol, the 5% that creates instant, permanent change, will be released on Amazon. May love fill your heart, peace fill your soul, abundance fill your life, and health heal your body.